The next part we're going to make is the cow catcher. First thing we're going to do is draw this pentagon on the bottom. It tells you that the first side is 1.8 and then it goes up 0.25 on both sides. So I've opened a part. I'm going to start a sketch on a plane. I'm going to do a line across. And I'd really like it to be equal on both sides, so we'll deal with that in a sec. It's 1.8. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Then I'm going to come straight up 0.25. I'm going to hit escape and do another line on the other side that is also 0.25. Oh, whoops, I just hit enter instead of clicking 0.25. Alright, so now I've got those lines. I'd really like this to be centrally located, so I'm going to dimension and I'm going to say I'd really like from the center point to there to be 0.9, which is 1.8 divided by 2. That way it just centers that up for me. Okay. Next thing I know is that I need these sides to be slanted in. I know that the overall height is going to be 1 inch. So I'm going to come back to Inventor and I'm going to do a line from here up to here and then down to there. So now I know that those are equal and I'm coming from here to here and that needs to be 1. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so I have my bottom pentagon. I'm going to go ahead and finish that one because it's done. Okay. What I'm going to be using is a loft to get to the smaller pentagon that's going to be up top, and its bottom is 1.2, and again it has 0.25 on both sides. So to do a loft, I need to do another plane up above it. So I am going to do another plane 0.75 above the one I just used. So I'm going to do plane. I want it to be offset from a plane. So my original plane that we used was this XY plane, so I'm going to click it. And now since I had done the offset plane, it's telling me how far do you want to offset it. And I want to offset it 0.75 and hit OK. So now I can draw my other, so I'm going to start a new sketch on that plane of my smaller pentagon. Okay, I centered it up because I'd want the other one to be obviously centered directly above this. So the bottom line for the next one is 1.2. So I'm going to come here and do 1.2. Go ahead and hit enter. We know that both the sides come up 0.25. Hit escape, do the same thing on the other side. Go ahead and click. Now I'm going to dimension. I would like from my center to the edge this time to be the 1.2 divided by 2 or 0.6. That way it centers it up. I'm going to go ahead and do lines again from those directly up, directly back down, and then this one needs to be, or does it tell me how wide this part is? Oh, it looks like it's right here. This is the small top and it says it's 0.75. So I'm going to dimension from here to the bottom, should be 0.75. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so that makes it taller for me. I'm finished with that sketch. Now I want to do a loft in between them. So I'm going to do a loft from that bottom one to the top one, and I'm going to hit OK. So now I have the beginnings of my cow catcher. Okay. Alright, next thing I'm going to do with my cow catcher is I'm going to go ahead and shell it out and make it hollow. It tells me that all the walls should be 0.10 thick. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate around to the bottom that I want to make hollow, and I'm going to click shell. And it already says that the thickness is going to be 0.1, so I'm just going to click right there on the bottom, and that hollows it right out for me. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Alright, next thing I see when I look at this cow catcher is I see these little knobs on the back. Okay, so these are just little knobs that are coming out. It's got them dimensioned. We're just going to do circles and extrude them and all that good stuff. So I'm starting to kind of look and see. It tells me some stuff about them, so I bet we can probably get this figured out. So here's a little picture that tells me a little bit about it. It tells me that the diameter of each of those circles is 0.125. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate around to the back, start a sketch here, go ahead and do a little circle that is 0.125 across, then I'm going to dimension it, and it says from the center to the bottom is 1.25, and center to the side is 2.75. So center to bottom is 0.125. Center to side is, again, I'm going to just double check, 0.275. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. I'd like to do the same thing over here, and I have a feeling that I might be able to do a mirror. Let's see if I can pull that off. Can I do a mirror of this circle? Dang it, I was hoping that line in the middle was going to pop back up. Oh well. I can just do the same thing over here. I'm going to do another circle. Good news is, see how that center is already lining up for me, so I can go ahead and do that. It has a diameter of 0.125. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. I don't have to redimension the height because it was already lining up with that. I'm going to dimension it from the center of the circle to the edge is 0.275. So I'm going to click again and do 0.275. Okay, so now I got that one. One more to go. This last one, it looks like it is 0.625 from that, and then 0.625 up from the bottom. So another circle. I'm going to go ahead and just place it up here. It's 0.125. Enter. And then I'm going to dimension it from here to here is 0.625. And then from the center to the bottom is also 0.625. Okay. Now that I have that done, we need to extrude them out, and it looks like the extrusion, looking. Let's see. That tells me about the chamfer around the edge. I think that this is telling me the extrusion is 0.125. We're going to try that. So we're going to finish them all and then do an extrusion 0.125, and then I'm just going to click on each of my circles. Okay. There are all of my circles. Okay. And then I need to do a chamfer around it that says it's 0.01. It's going to be a chamfer, do 0.01. I should just be able to click on the edges of those. Okay, so now I've got those done. So we're getting closer. It looks like the last thing we need to do are these trapezoids, I guess, essentially on the front. And it tells you that essentially you're going to draw it, and you just need to dimension from each side. It's 0.10 away from each side. So I'm going to rotate around here, and hopefully it will let me draw on these front surfaces. So I'm going to try to start a sketch. The good news is mine lets me start a sketch, so I'm going to be able to click that plane, and it's going to let me draw on it. At least that's what it looks like. I'm going to undo it and try it again because I feel like it's being weird. Okay, I guess that works. So we're just going to draw out a that shape on there, and then we're going to dimension all the way around. Let's see, what do we know? We know that we want this side and this side to be parallel, and it says that they already are. And then we can just dimension. We know that we need from here to here to be 0.1, and then we know that we need from here to be 0.1, and then we want these sides to be equal, so I'm going to go ahead and make them equal. It's going to balance it out a little bit. And then it also tells me the distance from there to there needs to be 0.1. Oh, whoops. Now it's saying I'm over constrained, so I'm going to undo the last constraint. Not loving the way that one's looking. Oh. Okay, I'm going to try this one again. So I'm just going to finish the sketch. See how it's automatically... Let me see. Maybe we can get rid of some. I feel like it's constraining this to some stuff that I don't want it to be constrained to. So let's see if we can delete some of these extra lines that are happening. See if that will help. Oh, it's trying to give me a degree measurement. Let's see. I don't see... Oh, okay, I guess it's from that very bottom corner. I'm being crazy. So I'm going to dimension from this very bottom corner over. Should be 0.1. There we go. Same thing from this very bottom corner over. Should be 0.1. There we go. Now it looks nice. I'm going to go ahead and do finish. And we're going to extrude, cut that out. Here's how I know how far it's going to be cut out. Because it tells you that the thickness overall is 0.10 for this shell. It tells you where this is, it's 0.05. So that means you're going to be extruding at 0.05. So that extrude cut should be 0.05. Hit OK. You're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Or at this point, we might be able to... I'm going to activate this this YZ plane for me. And I'm going to do a mirror. So I'm going to mirror this thing I just cut out over the plane. And I want to choose this plane right there. And I'm going to hit OK. Because I did not want to do all that again. So... there is my cow catcher looking nice.